To me, my life is a complete mystery to this moment. There is no escape. We're all going to die sooner or later. That's the big joke. So you may as well enjoy it now. But I do believe in the principle, wake up and live. Act as if it is impossible to fail. And I think that's the miracle of life, just seeing it all.
Good afternoon. It's wonderful to meet you.
Thank you. Good to meet you too.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Nice. It's a dark room, isn't it? I think I stayed here once. I've stayed in this hotel.
You speeding? No speeding? Okay, mark it. And take one.
An iconic actor, star of stage and screen.
What does that mean, iconic? That's
That
the
means-
fashionable word.
Yeah, well,
I never used them.
I thought about how, for myself and other millennials and Gen Xers, we grew up with you. I remember my parents banning us from watching The Silence of the Lambs. We had a VHS tape of it, and so you've been that person for millions of people.
I
That's being an icon.
Oh, okay. I'm an icon.
During COVID, you emerged as one of the most optimistic and refreshing voices on social media.
What did I do on social media? Oh, the dance and all that stuff.
Yeah, the dance and all of it.
We had nothing else to do. We were locked in, so Stella would, my wife would, she's the power behind me. She said, let's do this. I love to dance, I love to clown around. You know, the funny thing, everyone says, oh, it's terrifying times we're living in. It's because we keep saying it. You have terrible times. Yeah, well, they'll get worse if you keep saying it. Shut up. It's always been a terrible time. It's also been a glorious time. We've been through hell for the last century. 100 million dead in a war. The Middle East at the moment. It's always been chaos. It's always been fragile, painful. But the upside is life itself.
This book is filled with so many lessons. Is there a theme or a lesson that you want readers to take away from this book?
I mean, I touched on my own alcoholism, you know. I drank because everyone did, you know, actors, terrible. And it was a show of rebellion and independence, you know, and it was fun. And it occurred to me, I thought, I can enjoy this, but one day I think it's going to kill me. And I was driving with my car in a blackout. Couldn't remember where I'd been. That was 50 years ago. And I remember I woke up, I thought, I'm going to die. Or I'm going to take someone with me, I'll kill somebody. To drive a car, drunk, is insanity. And I remember saying to someone, I need help. So I got help. And I discovered I was an alcoholic. I knew it secretly that I was. I can't describe alcoholism, but I couldn't stop drinking. And for some reason, because I cracked my own ego. I thought, I'm not powerful, I've used willpower, it doesn't work. I need help, so I made a phone call and joined a group of people who were the same. Seeing all these people, I thought, I'm not alone. And that was a big ego break, because you think, you're not special. You're sick. That was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I'm still alive, I should be dead. Because most of my contemporaries are gone now. Catherine Hepburn, she said, why you guys drink so much? You all crazy? And she was right. And years later I stopped and I met her in New York. She said, good for you.
You went viral a couple of months ago when you donned a Kim Kardashian Skims face wrap and reprised your role as Dr. Hannibal Lecter.
Hello, Kim. I'm already feeling 10 years younger.
How did that come about?
I can't remember. What? I can't remember. Oh, the Hannibal Lecter. It's a long time ago, all that stuff. People ask me about Lecter. How did you play Lecter? I said, no. Just stood still and didn't blink. But how did you do the remains of the day playing the butler? Well, just be very quiet, polite. It's no big deal. There's nothing mysterious about it. People like to make a big mystery. You know, they all think they're special. Special, God help us. No, there's nothing, it's humanity. Be kind, have a ball.
You were mentored by some of the greatest actors to ever grace the stage and screen. Sir Laurence Olivier, you just talked about your advice that you got from Katharine Hepburn. Whose example shaped you the most?
I think it was Olivia. In order to survive as an actor, you have to be ready. You have to get on and do it. And you have to be strong. You have to be disciplined. And I learned that from him. He was able to see what my potential was. And he cast me in a play, Three Sisters, by Chekhov. And he'd tell other actors, he said, be strong. To be an actor, you have to be tough. And don't mumble. I was in Rome with, doing it for many years ago, with Bob Hoskins. You remember him?
Yes, of course.
And Bob used to look at me and say, you're weird. He said, you're a funny bloke, aren't you? And I said, why? He said, you never go out, you never... And I got a bit down. I thought, what's the matter with me? Suddenly it occurred to me, like out of a dream. I said, and I suddenly figured out something. It's none of my business what people say of me or think of me. I am what I am and I do what I do because I enjoy doing it. And from that moment I thought, there are no big deals. I'm just lucky to be here, lucky to be alive. We're not going anywhere, we're all going to die sooner or later. That's the big joke of life. So you may as well enjoy it now.
Among the many hats you wear, you are a composer.
Yeah.
How did you get your start in music?
I know it started when I was a kid. And I started composing, and then about 20 years ago, I recorded the piece, and it was called The Waltz Goes On, I think.
By Sir Anthony Hopkins, his beautiful waltz, and the waltz goes on.
Last year in Riyadh, they played 9 symphonic pieces of mine. I love music. So I compose and I paint. My wife, Stella, she said, paint. She found some old drawings of mine in the back of a script. I said, I can't paint. She said, you can. I can. Because we can do whatever we want if we check into ourselves. Because we are so used to being conditioned, saying you can't do that. You're too big for your boots, or stay in your lane. No. Get into the other lanes as well. Paint, draw, write, play music, dance, whatever you have to do. See, we limit ourselves all the time. We just say, no, I can't do that. I may fail. So what, you fail. The assurance I have in myself, or the confidence, makes it easy. I don't have to analyze it. And once you've absorbed all that technique, or information of words, whatever they are, you're free, you're relaxed, and you can stand in your head, you can do whatever you want.
You paint such beautiful pictures with your words in this memoir. Yet there are only 2 images in the book. This first image of you, a closely cropped photo, and also this delightful image of father and son at the seaside in the early 1940s.
That's right.
Tell me about this moment.
My father was in what they call the Royal Observer Corps during the war. His job was plotting aircraft, you know. That was during the Second World War. That was 1941. I was 3.5. And I was hopeless. I just wasn't bright. And so I was bullied and all that. Because children do that. They're cruel, you know. That's what we do to survive. And so I became isolated and defiant in a way. I never reacted to the bullying. And so that became a kind of lifestyle which I've addressed in there. I called it dumb insolence. Because in those days, if you didn't shine, you could be knocked about by the teachers. They were allowed to do that, slap you around, you know. And at the age of 5, 6, it's unpleasant. But at an early age, I learned to be defiant. I wouldn't react.
So it was a coping mechanism for you?
It was, yes, it was. It's not the healthiest way to go through life, but it fueled me in a way. When I was 17, 1955, 70 years ago, God, in Easter, my school report had arrived. And the dreaded moment came, my school report. My father opened it, gave it to my mother, and said, Anthony is way below the standard of this school. And I felt sorry for them, not me, because I thought, well, they have worked hard, why is it I can't cope? My father said, I know what's going to happen to you. Hopeless, I know what's going to happen to you. And I took a step back and said, one day I'll show you. I'll show both of you. My father looked at me and said, well, I hope you do. You sort of recognize, my mother said, I'm sure you will. I think what happened at that moment, I'd stopped playing the game of being stupid. I was going to win. And I think it switched something on, a switch, and call it providence or subconscious mind, whatever it is, that power that gives us life. Because within 4 months I got a scholarship to an acting school. I didn't know how to act. And then the shortlist came and there were 3 of us chosen. But there was only one for the scholarship. The principal came, he said, well, the scholarship goes to the mail. And I thought he meant in the post. And my father said, no, the mail. That's you. Oh. Maybe I was lucky to have that moment when I said, when I was 17, one day I will show you. 70 years ago. One day I will show you, both of you. And maybe that was the moment when something went whoomp.
You describe your parents in great detail in the memoir. They were really your first fans. Your mother encouraged you to go to drama school, and you write about your father tearing up when you first took to the stage. Tell me about how your parents influenced your life and your values.
My father had a successful business. He was a baker. They were hard work. Then they came to the theatre to see me. Years later, I was at the Old Vic. And they met people like Albert Finney and all those people. My father couldn't believe it. And he got very tearful. He said, how the hell did you get here? And then he'd ask me, he said, recite that bit of Shakespeare, what is it? So I'd do speak. He said, how on earth do you remember all these? In school you couldn't cope.
I love the way you describe growing up in a small Welsh city. How did coming up in Port Talbot shape your sense of self?
It was a tough little town. The Welsh people are rough, tough people. No time for sentiment, no time for softness. You'll never be able to take Port Talbot out of me. I feel it's in my bones, in my veins.
In your 80 plus years, you've gone from growing up with a Victorian father who used words like thee and thine to...
Oh, that was my grandfather.
Yes, to surviving World War II and post-war Britain, to the advent of modern technology. What perspective do you think you've gained in watching the world change as you have?
It's changed radically, isn't it? But I have one theory that maybe, and may be wrong, I'm sure I'm wrong, but at some point, maybe, I know, 100,000 years ago, the Homo sapien that we are, standing there, maybe we suddenly realize something is for all our stargazing and beginning to paint walls and paint caves and find gods and and you suddenly realize that we're still animals, that we're still voracious killers, and that at some point we decided to destroy our own species because we couldn't live with it. The hatred and the bitterness in a nation throughout the world is the killer. There are millions of people out of work, in poverty, and that's a terrible thing. So somehow you have to find a way to count your blessings and just do it. It is a terrible world, but it's also an awesome world. You go outside on the beach and you see everything around you. It's awesome, it's extraordinary. I've got a cat who's an example for me. I play with him, I'm mesmerized when he's sleeping. I watch him. Okay, what a miracle. And he watches the hummingbirds outside, and he watches the pigeons, and I watch him. All that energy, the heart beating. And I think that's the miracle of life, just seeing it all.
Does legacy factor into the choices that you make these days?
A legacy, I don't think about that. They'll say a few words over you, this is my legacy. They'd say, oh, God rest in peace, thank you very much. Okay, let's go have a cup of coffee, everyone. Bye, a couple of cheers. Within a few days, it's over. It's that harsh. There's no swan song. It's harsh reality. I remember when my father died, 45 years ago, I think. I stood in the hospital in the night, and the doctor came and said, your father's gone. I said, okay. So my mother was standing there, and I was looking at him. And I felt his feet, they were cold. And as I was standing there, a voice in my head said, you're not so hot either. One day it will be you. And that was a great wake-up call. Yeah. The big joke is that one day it'll be over. If there's anything beyond, wonderful. But I don't know. So what I do now is enjoy everything.
What advice would you give to your younger self?
Have a ball. Don't take anything too seriously. No, but we have to get through life. You have to take things, struggle. There's pain. All in the game. Many tears has to fall. But finally, it comes back to it. I have, in this film I'm going to do soon, I have that actual line where I say, there's a solace and peace in getting older. We know nothing. We think we do, but we know nothing.
An accomplished artist, composer, and now an author. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. This was a real treat.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful to meet you.
Thank you.
Wonderful to meet you.
Thank you. Let me have a look. Ah, yes. You want me to just read this?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Ecclesiastes. The sun also rises, and the sun goes down, and hastens to the place where it arose. That which is done is what will be done, and there is nothing new under the sun. Nor will there be any remembrance of things that are to come by those who will come after.
What a way to end this interview. Well, thank you so
Thank you
much.
all very much. Everything.
Thank you.
Thank
This
you
was
all.
great.
Oh,
This
it's
was
really
great.
a great interview.
By Sir Anthony Hopkins, his beautiful waltz, and the waltz goes on.